Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the California Highway from our touring collection. You can see here that it's a large tunnel designed drive-away awning, and this is designed to fit vehicles between 1.8 metres and 2.2 metres in height. The way it attaches is actually with this roof panel here, which is actually separate to the main part of the awning, and what that means is this can be flipped around to face over the other side, which we have at the moment, or it can be this way as well, so it works perfectly for both left-hand and right-hand drive vehicles. In terms of the material that we're using on here, this is our Outex 4000, so this is a really good quality taffeta polyester material, and what you'll find is that all of the seams have been fully taped throughout, and it's PU coated on the inside as well, and that gives it a hydrostatic head of 4,000 millimetres, which ensures of course that it is completely waterproof. The frame that we use on here from front to back along the sides is made up of steel poles, and then all of the roof poles are actually all Duratec fiberglass. We also use our wind stabilizer system on this particular model, and I'll just show you now how that works. So this is where we have these Velcro tabs on the side of the awning here, and when we set them up, all we need to do is just wrap these around the pole like this and fasten into position. You'll find that there's one at the top and at the bottom of all the poles all the way around the awning, and this is where we have our guy lines attached. When we take the guy lines out and peg them into place, what it does is it pulls the fly sheet of the awning against the frame, and it makes the whole thing much more taut and therefore much more stable. All of the guy lines do come pre-attached, and you can see here that they're all luminous as well, so they're a little bit brighter, so hopefully you'll be able to see this when it gets a little bit more dark. Each one also has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the awning, you'll see here that there is a loop for the guy lines just underneath here. So what we do is just wrap these guy lines up and pop them in there so that the next time we come to use it, these are going to be nice and easily accessible. The awning itself has an entrance on this side and at the other side as well, and it has some windows across this front canopy area here too. The front canopy area also has these mud valances just at the bottom here, so these are going to encourage rainwater to run down and away from that front area. So if we just pop round to here, what we will see is that this canopy, or sort of extended canopy area at the front, gives a real good sheltered space. So if you're lucky enough for it to be a really hot sunny day, this is going to give you a good bit of shade to sit underneath. Or if it's a little bit more drizzly, then of course this is going to give you good shelter. But it's certainly a great space for perhaps a kitchen unit or outside cooking. The awning part of it itself is separated from the outside here with this large dividing wall. And what you will find is that there is a four-way zipper on this door, so this can actually be fully rolled back completely or to the other side depending on what setup you want. So as I say then, that mesh panel will give great ventilation within the awning itself, but if it gets a little bit too chilly, then there is a curtain which we have rolled away at the moment, which you can just zip closed to keep you a little bit more comfy in the inside. And what you will find as well is that this door is a vertical door, so what that means is as soon as you step into the awning, you're getting full usable space within here. So stepping inside the awning, you will see here that as it comes, it is a really good size space. It's obviously going to be great for those who need a lot more storage, or maybe as a dining area or something like this. But a great feature of this awning is that as an optional extra, you can actually buy bedrooms, which would go across the back area in here. So you can see that we actually have toggle points all the way around the roof here. So there is actually a bedroom that can go in here that can sleep up to 5 people, and that actually is 2 bedrooms across the back. So as it is, like I say though, it's a really good size, lots of head height in here. I'm quite tall at about 1.95 meters, and there's loads of space above my head. So something else I'd like to highlight on the inside here is the fact that we have 3 steel bracer bars. So there's one along this side here, and there's one across the opposite side as well, and at the roof here as well. So what this means is that when you do use it as a drive-away and the vehicle isn't here, then you have a really solid and stable structure, which is of course freestanding. This area in particular is fully sealed from that front door there to the back and side to side. And you can see here that it's a bathtub style ground sheet which comes up at the edges, which is going to obviously stop any drafts from coming in. It's going to stop things like dirt and dust and sand blowing into your awning as well, and hopefully keep out those unwanted bugs too. So as I said here, we have 2 entrances either side, but what I want to highlight to you is that each door actually has a full mesh door which just zips into place as well. So the outside door is rolled up at the moment, and then we have this full zippable mesh door, so that's going to allow for great ventilation in here, and both areas actually do have that. The ventilation is also added to because, as I pointed out earlier on, that roof sits separate on top of the frame. So what that allows us to do is put huge ventilation panels up in the top on the ceiling of the inner here. Again, if it does get a little bit too chilly, then you'll see here that they do have zipped curtains, which we have toggled away at the moment, so you can just fully close this over if you want to. Across this side here is where we have our link access zone, and as I said, this can be on either side depending on how you've set it up. But what this area gives you is a completely covered area between the awning and the vehicle, so this is totally waterproof because it's just the same material. We also then have this ground sheet at the bottom here, which tucks underneath, and you can see comes up the side of the vehicle to reduce drafts within this area. Also, this area has two side doors too, so that gives you entrance into the link access zone without actually having to come in through the awning. So a great feature on the California Highway is the versatility in terms of fitting it to a vehicle. So as I say, you have this link access zone here, but there are various different ways of being able to attach it to the vehicle, which we'll now just talk you through. The first and most simplistic way of attaching the awning to the vehicle is actually just by attaching it using the guy line. So all we need to do here is just take the material on top of the van and then take your guy lines across the other side and peg them into position. Next, we can connect with the Velcro bands that are already pre-attached onto the back of the awning, and these would just simply wrap around any vehicle that has things like roof bars attached to them, and then of course we can then take the guy lines out the back and peg them into place as well. Next, you can connect this awning using suction cup clamps, which would be sold separately, but we actually do supply the awning with a steel pole that can go through the sleeve at the back, which you can then attach the clamps to and then attach them onto the vehicle. Next, we can then directly attach the awning onto a rail on the side of the van like this here, and that's going to be ideal if you want to leave the vehicle with the awning during your stay. Finally, we then have the optional extras from ourselves, which would be the magnetic band connector, which would just attach onto any vehicle with a magnetic roof. So that easily attaches on there and then just is guyed into position across the back. And we then also have our Outwell Touring Connect set, which is a figure-of-8 kit that can attach the awning directly into a rail, which enables the awning to be a drive-away. So we have plenty of optional extras for you to choose from for this particular model. That would be the fleece carpet for this area in here, just giving you a little bit more comfort. There is also a footprint available to go underneath the ground sheet here, which is going to protect the ground sheet and keep it clean and dry on those wet and muddy days. As I said earlier, there are also the large bedrooms, which will go across the back of this as well as an option. And of course, there is the connecting kits as well. So there you have it then. That's all the features of the California Highway from our touring collection. Thank you very much for watching.